Hello everybody. It has been a minute since the last time I've streamed, but I hope y'all are doing well. You know, I guess let's just start this off. Let me go ahead. Hopefully this is... okay. Format still looks good. Well, you can see the top bar, but hold up, we could work with that. So I was inspired by Nell's list that went out, it's been a minute at this point, where he went through and made a list of his top 50 video games. And I'm like, you know what? I like a good old list. Who doesn't like a good old list? And I've wanted to do this for a bit, but I've unfortunately just been pretty busy. But now I have a little bit of reprieve, so I figured, hey, this is probably the time to do it. Although my streaming setup is a little bit different because I'm currently not at my house. I am actually helping with dog sitting. So this is going to be the new digs for probably about 2 weeks or so. But yeah, here we go. Elabits time. Yeah, you know, Elabits, let's go. Finally getting the respect that it deserves. Also, let me know if the music is too loud on your guys' end. But we have this website here, Backlogged, which is just a good way in order to essentially go through and, you know, you can fill out a list and add games to it and all the sorts, and then you can kind of just make a list for whatever you want. There's a little bit of a spoiler there. What the heck? Oh, edit list, there we go. But yeah, we can just go through and essentially add games in here, and I figured this would be a good way to open up discussion about not only just a lot of games that I've played over the time, but finally make some, or end up making some pretty deep cuts, because, you know, surprisingly, 50 gives you a lot of room to work with. I think it's still going to be tough. Now, I'm not really going to... I don't think I'm going to order all 50 of them. I think that would be kind of madness. Like, the thing about, like, tier lists and all ranking stuff is I start to zone out once you get past, like, the high tier area. You know, your S tier, A tiers, okay, yeah, maybe we can come up with an order. Once you get to, like, B and C tier, I just kind of stop caring. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, they're just kind of around the same. So, I'm not going to be super firm with the ranking, but my top 10 will be my top 10. Maybe to like top 15 or top 20, but then after that, who knows. Lizzie McGuire for the GBA. You know, I can't say that I've played that one. Now, I have played Rugrats, the Angelica game, for the Game Boy Color. I actually went back and I watched a Let's Play of that game because I remember from a kid, the music in that game is stuck in my brain. I cannot believe that I've allocated space in here for the Game Boy Color Angelica game. Let me get the exact... Rugrats Game Boy Color. What's the name of this game? Rugrats Totally Angelica. I've saved reserve space in my brain for that. I feel much better because of that. Yo, what's going on, Dallas? How you doing? Great music choice, man. Yeah, so this is really by the way, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Nobody on YouTube. That's, you know, funny enough, I've fallen into the same trap that Polyphemus did in the Odyssey. But I'm not joking. The channel's name is actually Nobody. They do kind of like, you know, chill lo-fi for just a bunch of different games. But this is one for a bunch of Zelda music, and it's really good. I've been listening to this to a lot while grading and doing stuff, and it's been very nice. Lo-fi saved me in college finals, I will say that. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this list. And I actually want to go ahead, and I'm gonna save some of the top 10 games for later on, because I think that would make it more interesting. But we are going to go ahead and just start with the game that I think kickstarted me thinking of wanting to do this aside from Anel's tweet. And it is one Star Fox 64. Man, I really like this game. This is a good video game. The controls just feel really good. I think the difficulty's pretty fair. It's very replayable. It may be the most quotable video game ever created. If it's not the most quotable, it is without question top 5. The music's pretty dang good in this game, and I just don't think that Star Fox has actually been able to match this same level. And this is, of course, very topical. I have not seen the Super Mario Galaxy movie, but we do know that one Fox McCloud is in the movie that was shown off, and even if it wasn't shown off, I probably would have had that spoiled for me anyways. But yeah, this game's really good. I had not played it in a while, but I did go through it recently, and I actually did the hard route, which I don't even remember if I did as a child. I don't remember ever doing Area 6 as a kid. But I did it recently, so there's that. Yeah, Star Fox 64 is a great game. My one complaint with Star Fox 64, aside from the fact that you can't really, at least in the original version, you can't change the controls from being inverted, is the battle mode. You know, I think as a product of its time and as kids, the battle mode in that game is fine. But I think by today's standards, the battle mode is really dull. There's a lot of dead air in that battle mode. But yeah, Star Fox 64 is a great game. Good video game. Now, the other one that I was kind of thinking alongside Star Fox that I'd want to put on a top 50 list. One, Earthbound. I really like Earthbound. I've never played Mother 1, or Mother Beginnings over here, but I did play Earthbound when I was in college on the Wii U. It's actually one of the games that I first used the Wii U tablet, just sitting in the bed. Wii was in the other room. I quite like this game. Of course, the style of humor that's very well known for. I think the rolling health mechanic is really cool, and probably my favorite gameplay feature out of the Mother games. I like just how unapologetically weird it is. The music is quite good. There's some emotional resonance. The big thing that jumps out to me, and I'm always just like, bro, how do they do this? Is Porky Means Business, I believe, is the like the final boss song that plays with the first phase being Porky and everything. That song like starts off sounding like chiptune. Like, oh, okay, this does sound like something I may hear on the NES or something like that. And it turns into this metal song that just does not even sound like it belongs on the Super Nintendo. It's crazy. I don't know how they did that. But yeah, this is a great game. And the other thing that would join it, though, is Mother 3. Mother 3's story is the big thing that carries this. I actually, if one were to say that Mother 3 is just a better game overall, I could understand that. I think that Mother 3 has a lot of really interesting things that carries over. I think the story is stronger. I think it's thematic. Like, I think just the storytelling in general and the themes are a lot stronger. I think the music, being the absolute mess that it is in this game, and what I mean by that is it's copyright hell, is great. I really like the music in this game. And I think that the musical element within the battle system is super cool. It's super cool. I suck at it. I'm absolutely terrible at it, but it's really cool. But I think I like Earthbound more simply because it is a little bit more simple. I think if Earthbound had as compelling of a story, I think Earthbound would be definitively it. But something about Earthbound and just kind of how simple the gameplay and everything is just clicked with me a little bit more. But they're both fantastic experiences. I can be a little stubborn when it comes to games sometimes, and I like complexity. Like, for example, been playing the new Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and there are a lot of complex gameplay to that. But it doesn't feel like it's necessary to get super released, but those options are there for you. Sometimes I just kind of like a very strong, solid gameplay, and I think Earthbound does that really well. Yeah, but these are both great. Both really good games. Mario Galaxy movie is really good. It's not a masterpiece, but don't say it's just yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are kind of expecting going into for like a Mario movie. I watched the Mario movie, well, 2.5 times actually, over spring break. And that was my first time that I had ever seen it. I thought it was fine. It's very safe. It's a very safe movie, but I think that's, you know, kind of what you're going to be getting.
Usually
no, not an ad.
Is too good to be true.
We don't need an ad. I don't need a Verizon ad right now. Hold up. Let's fire up some, I want to fire up right now. Is that what I want to fire up? No, we'll do, hold up. I got us. Alright, there we go. Anyways. Yeah, it's a safe movie, but I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. Retried Earthbound, playing it twice and never made it past game to the desert. This is the situation, so take a pressure too long. Yeah, and that's the thing about, like, sometimes when you're going through a game, it's just like, sometimes it just hits at the right point in life. Sometimes it doesn't. I dropped near Automata for 2 years at the final boss of Route A. I finally went back to play it, beat the final boss, and was hooked on it from Route B onwards, and I'm glad that I did it at that time that I did, because I used it as a part of my grad school thesis. So, just got it worked out. We got on the topic of Metal Gear. I'd love to hear your thoughts on MGS2 and its story message. Okay, I may have you covered there. I may got you covered. We'll get to Metal Gear. We'll get to Metal Gear. Spoilers. Okay. Now, honestly, as far as outside of the top, like, 15, this was kind of as far as I got in terms of thinking about games. I did consider this. Arkham Asylum is a game that I love. It is very much responsible for getting me into Batman as much as I am, alongside The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. I remember having a lot of faith in this game when it was coming out, and yeah, it's a really good game. It still is a good game. I went through and I streamed it, I think, about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And I had fun with it, but it definitely was showing some of the cracks from its age. I think some of the environment of the asylum is still fantastic. I think it is the strongest environment, and you really recognize locales really easily. I think where it falls apart a little bit is with the boss fights are really not that good compared to some of the other ones. And I think the other games just have... The stories hit a lot harder because of the stakes and what is on display. I do not like how Arkham Knight handles its end credits thing, but I think Arkham City undeniably has a really, really impactful ending, and I think a lot of people would put City as the best. I honestly may even swap out Asylum for City. This used to be in my top 15, but I think it has moved down over time. Now, one of the other best ways that I tried to determine what games do I like is I look at the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster, because it covers so many video games and so many series at this point that it's got, I gotta figure them out, right? Okay. The other issue is that there are a number of series on here that are gonna have quite a high amount of games that I want to put on here, so I had to be careful with that. Okay. Well, this one's going to be higher on the list, but let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just get it out of the way. I think everybody knows that I can't shut up about this game. Kid Icarus Uprising. Oh my god. I love Kid Icarus Uprising. I love this game so much. It's just... It has changed the way that I view what should or could be done with a franchise reboot. And I think it plays also, like, Star Fox Zero, going back to Star Fox, was a game I was so excited for. I remember hearing the Star Wolf theme ahead of release. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to play this game. And then I was really disappointed. And I don't even think it's a bad game. It's just really disappointing because... at first you're playing it, and Peppy goes like, use balls wisely. You go, yeah, he said the thing. And then by the time you get to the 7th mission, it's like, dual barrel roll. You're like, bro, Peppy, man, you gotta give me something different. I've heard this for the past like 20 years at this point. It really did felt like Star Fox 64 with Portals. But Kid Icarus Uprising, you know, you play for the first 9 chapters, like, oh, I gotta be Medusa, it's pretty safe, but at the same time, the gameplay is new. And then it just goes in this crazy, unique direction, and it more than doubles the length after when you may think the game may be over. The multiplayer was really fun locally for me. The music is fantastic in this game. This is the #1 game that I want to get a remake for, or a sequel. I would adore it. It's really something special. The main thing holding back Kid Icarus is the fact that it is trapped on the 3DS. With dual sticks, this game could be really something amazing. You a big Gen 4 guy, or am I thinking of someone else? I do like Gen 4 a lot. I am quite a big fan of Gen 4. We will get to that. We will get to that. Gen 4 will... Pokemon is going to be, honestly, one of the hardest things to do. I'm kind of waiting on Pokemon. Should I just do Pokemon? I think everybody knows that Pokemon's going to be on my list. Right? Like, Xenoblade 2 #1, or I unsubscribe. Listen, no, I'm sorry. You may be unsubscribing here. You may be unsubscribing. Okay, I'm trying to like go to grab some other like niche games, but I think this just may be taking too much time by doing so and just beating around the bush. So let's. I saw this on the roster. Let's just throw it on there. Where are you? Where's? I'm not seeing the Roman numeral there. There we go. Wait, what is it? 2015. Whatever. Final Fantasy VII. Man, I love Final Fantasy VII. I really like this game. I thought that this game, you know, I played this when I was in college, so I played it pretty late in life, all things considered. And I was actually surprised by how much fun I was still having with the gameplay. I thought that, you know, I never really played a Final Fantasy game before, so that I really enjoyed the kind of the cooldown system. I liked Materia a lot. I did so much chocobo breeding and grinding, all for nothing, because I found out that, like, GP and BP were different point systems, and then I wanted to throw myself out a window. So I didn't get Omnislash, but you bet your ass I got Knights of the Round. Screen's supposed to be frozen or nothing on it? What? Whoa, what the heck? Whoa, what's going on? It's not supposed to be frozen. What the helly? Hold up. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna get this fixed. Thank you for pointing that out. Oh, okay. It is now deciding it wants to work. Okay, this layout is also horrendous in terms of what we're working with right now. We're gonna fix this. Okay, we're gonna... Can I zoom out? Well, yeah, let me go to the... This is better for your viewing pleasure. Okay, that is better, hopefully. We'll work with this. Yep. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. Much appreciated. Go to game, never play the original, but the remake. Yeah, and you know what? That's the other thing. We're actually, while we're at it, we're gonna go add Final Fantasy VII Remake. We're gonna add Remake, because I like Remake a lot. I still haven't finished Rebirth. I need to beat Rebirth, but I actually put that on pause. But oh gosh, now that I know it's here, he's gonna kill me. I put Rebirth on pause to play Xenosaga 2. Has Xenosaga 3 been beaten? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, I really like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know that this is contentious to a lot of people. They don't like Remake, and they would have preferred something just a little bit more authentic. But for me, it being kind of a remake and a sequel at the same time is just really interesting. I think the characterization is great. This is the best version of Cloud that we've gotten since Final Fantasy VII. So, yeah, there's a lot of, like, really magical moments in there. When you first hear the Sector 7 Slum song, ooh, that's some good stuff. Alright, looking back at the Smash roster, alright, we're gonna go ahead. You know what, I see, it's not represented on here, on Smash, but I saw fighting games, and I think I just have to say Skullgirls. Second Encore. Man, I like Skullgirls a lot. This game is beautiful. 2D hand-drawn art is fantastic. A lot of the characters have great personality that's also communicated through it. All the skins are just, or a lot of the skins are just cool references, and they don't overtly say it, of course, but you can kind of determine it. Beowulf may be the fighting game character that clicks with me more than any other fighting game character. The dude has a chair, he's just grapple central, and he has a hype meter. That is awesome. If I want to play like a traditional fighting game, this is the one that I would want to play more than anything. I guess if we're on the subject of fighting games, though, I have to put a Super Smash Bros. Game on here, and it gets really tough because Melee is the competitive darling. Brawl has Subspace Emissary, and Enel will be waiting at my front door if I don't put Brawl on here. Smash for Wii U is when I competed most of the time, and then Ultimate is the most complete package. And I think I'm gonna put Ultimate, but I do have issues with Ultimate gameplay-wise. I really hate how much the buffer system is in there, and the input lag is pretty severe, and there are some mechanical things. The C-stick for doing moves seems to be way more inconsistent upon landing than it was in Smash 4 due to being completely reset and everything. There's just a couple things like that that just kind of ruin the game feel for me of Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But I think this game gave me Snake back. It gave me Cloud, Snake, Shulk, Pyra and Mythra, and Link all in the same game. It's really hard for me to go against it that much. Brawl clears Ultimate easily if you're real. And did I tell you about the last time that I think I played Brawl? The last time I played Brawl was on a single Wiimote at a other school's college rec center as a part of a date, and it was a very interesting experience. It was rough. It was awkward. Melee does have Pokefloats. That is true. We love Pokefloats here. Unironically, Pokefloats is the best moving stage. Get Pac-Land out of here. We don't like Pac-Land. I can play right now, buddy. I got Dolphin in Parsec. See, that's the thing, is I don't know if my computer could do that. Unfortunately, I'm on the Mac Life. I would actually play Brawl with you online, unironically, if I could, though. Hey, Bates, how you doing? Good to see you. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as the Smash rep, but it's hard because Brawl is probably... I actually have more nostalgic attachment to Smash 4 and Brawl. Like, I played Brawl every weekend in high school with my high school friends who, I mean, I still talk to them this day. They're pretty much brothers to me, but... yeah, I got good memories of Smash just in general. Okay, I mean, if we're just gonna go ahead and get some of the obvious ones out of the way, let's do it. We're going down the Pokemon train. So, the question is, which Pokemon games make the cut? Some of these may get crossed off later, but I'm gonna put a number of them on right now. Pokemon Glazed. What the hell? I want to go ahead and start by Pokemon, putting Pokemon PETA's Pokemon Black and White. Unfortunately, I think it's only going to let me put, like, yeah. So it's only going to let me put one of them on here, which is a little annoying. I wish that there was an icon in order to show, like, both of them. I had Pokemon... No, I had Pokemon White. So I'm going to put that just because it also is Zekrom. And at the same time, I'm also going to put Pokemon White 2. These are the two that I played through, and I almost, strangely enough, put them as one complete package because of the story just kind of going through. Objectively, White 2 probably is the better game. But White was the game that I had like a big redemption arc with, and it just holds a really special place with me. So I'm almost like combining these like a lot of people do with Infinity War and Endgame. Gotta be Sword and Shield. You know what? I actually don't hate Sword and Shield as much as everybody else. I actually don't mind. While we're at it, I know people were asked about Gen 4. Platinum. Platinum is... Yeah. I mean, Platinum is the definitive Gen 4 experience. We love Platinum in here. Music in this game is incredible. Giratina is one of the best Pokemon ever created. And then just Sinnoh has a lot of mythology, a lot of lore that makes it interesting compared to some other regions. Yeah. So, I mean, Sinnoh has some issues, of course, like every Pokemon game, but this is an easy one for me to go back and replay. It feels very alive, honestly, compared to a lot of other games due to also the day and night mechanic and the time stuff as well. Rip Chatsby. No, not Chatsby. We lost him too early. Oh, that was so sad. All right, let's go ahead. We're just throwing out the Pokemon games. These are gonna get moved later. Pokemon Emerald. This is the definitive Gen 3 experience. Emerald is great. Again, solid music. Rayquaza, one of the best Pokemon out there. I know everybody goes, oh, too much water, but Hoenn does feel like a very... Hoenn to me, even though it's different than Alola, because Alola is more of the tropical island vibes, but to me, I feel like Emerald's region just clicks with me a lot more of Hoenn kind of doing that thematic water and islands setup. I don't really, it's weird, I don't really have that much more to say on Emerald except for that I just really like it. A lot of Pokemon I like it too. Okay, and then finally, let's just go ahead and put this one on here. Pokemon Soul Silver. This is the definitive Gen 2 experience, even though I'm very, very nostalgic for Gen 2. Just as a game, it was my first video game that I personally owned. I do think that this is overall the best way to experience them. Unless you like the old Gen 2 sprites and you like the old Gen 2 music, then I'd say go play that one. But if you're going to do that, probably just play Crystal. That being said, my go-to right now is either Herb or Golden. Yeah, I mean, those are definitely up there as my favorites. I went into Sword and Shield blind, and I actually had a really good time with it. I think that helped me out a lot. Okay, so we got 14 right now. So let's go ahead, let's put this one on here. Another game that means a lot to me. The original Paper Mario. This may be shocking. A lot of people go, whoa, what about Thousand Year Door? You know, I was actually not as big of a Thousand Year Door shooter as a lot of other people. I really like the original Paper Mario, even if it doesn't do as much with the paper mechanic compared to its follow-ups. Something about this game has always just been cozy and presents the traditional Mario formula in just it was a more ambitious way at the time. I think the reason why newer Paper Mario games didn't click as much is because, yes, it is doing the traditional Mario formula, but it's kind of lacking some sauce, and it has kind of lost its luster because Mario, even with the traditional formula at this point, has done more interesting things. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And we've already tasted the greatness that is Thousand Year Door for a lot of people, so they want something more unique, and I think that's completely understandable. Origami King is my goat. I have not played Origami King, so I can't speak to that, but I can say that I did not like Sticker Star. Did not like about that. I did beat Sticker Star, so I can speak on that one. That game is really not that good. I think it may have the most useless battle system that I've actually seen in a AAA release. You don't get experience, so you battle to get coins to buy stickers, but in order to battle, you have to use stickers. So you use stickers to get coins, to buy stickers, to use stickers, to get coins. I hated it. I hated that system. Like, you know, normally you dodge battles in a game because you want to get the point A to the point B, you're kind of annoyed. I dodge battles in that game because it's literally wasting my time. Okay, you know, if we're on the Mario train, speaking of Mario Galaxy 2. Mario Galaxy 2 is a great game. Mario Galaxy 1 is very close to it, but I think 2 feels like it is a celebration of everything that Galaxy 1 was trying to do. And there's more unique galaxies in Galaxy 2. Galaxy 1 was kind of reusing some stuff, and I don't necessarily have an issue with reusing resources. One of my favorite games on this list is a complete reusing of assets. But every level just seems to kind of have some spice, some fun, it's interesting, and I know the green stars kind of inflate the number a lot, but at least for my playthrough, I didn't mind it. I think going back to it, I may be a bit more annoyed, but yeah, I like Galaxy 2 a lot. I think Galaxy 1 has some really good atmosphere, though. Probably better atmosphere. Okay. Anything else on the Mario train that I want to include? We're going to put this on here for the time being. Mario Party 2. This is my favorite Mario Party. I know that this game is jank. There's a lot of jank in this game, but God, I love my jank. I like my Mario Party 2 jank. I've been so accustomed to it. I've grown up in this jank. So it's like home, you know? There are some bad minigames in this game, don't get me wrong. But I like the boards in this. It does have some great minigames. And when you find other people that also admire and love the jank, and you get a 4-man Mario Party game, oh man. There are few things better than a 4-player Mario Party 2 game. Mario Party 4 and Mario Party 6 are my other 2 favorites. For some reason, I just really like the even-numbered ones. Not liking the Galaxy games is probably my hottest take, but then again, I'm a Tori Sunshine fanboy. Oh, see, that's the thing. Sunshine may be my least favorite of the 3D Marios, unless you're counting like 3D World. Then it's 3D World, but I like Sunshine too, but I just kind of wish that it did a little bit more with the level variety. I understand that the game is themed around water, but I still think that like Corona Mountain or Corona Volcano, whatever that one was, could have been converted into something a little bit more ambitious as a level. Just, you know, on a tropical island, I feel like they could have done some more fun, like Peanut Park. Peanut Park's great! Stuff like that. Okay. Let's see. What else do we throw on this list here? We're going back to the Smash Brothers roster. There's 2 series that I've been avoiding. 3 series, actually. You know, let's go ahead. Let's just do it. Let's go to one of these. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Let me me scroll down a bit so you guys can see this. I'm realizing it's really scuffed on your guys' end. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is, this, I go back and forth on whether actually this is a top 10 game for me. I love Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I really value a game that I can pump out in like an hour or two. I like a really fast-paced, quick game that I could just use as a bit of a relaxing thing or just a stream. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2 fits that perfectly. There are a couple things that hold back Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Metropolis. I don't like Metropolis. I think the later half of the game has weaker zones. I think that the beginning of the game through Casino Night is perfection. I think Hilltop goes down a little bit. Mystic Cave, it's around there. Oil Oceans, I actually do like Oil Ocean. But then I don't like Metropolis. But then it goes back up because I actually don't mind Sky Chase. But yeah, Sonic 2 is one of those games that I could just keep going back to over and over and over again without any care in the world. On the other hand, Sonic Mania. This is the other game that I may say is the best Sonic game. I don't mind 3D Sonic. I like Sonic Adventure. I like Sonic Generations. But 3D Sonic has always been... There's something missing. I think like the gameplay just hasn't felt as tight. There's some sort of charm that's missing. Something is not there for me. But 2D Sonic has got it. And Mania just felt like this massive celebration. And not only gave us probably the best version of a lot of old zones, but it also gave us some really good new ones. I actually like Titanic Monarch quite a bit as a final one, even if it's quite a long stage. Were you ever a Mario Kart guy? Yeah, I like Mario Kart. I'm not somebody that, like, loves Mario Kart, though. I used to play Mario Kart 64 a lot. I like Mario Kart Wii. That may be my favorite one. No, Mario Kart Deluxe is probably the best. But I actually have not played enough World in order to give a full opinion. Nostalgia 5 and all of its minigames are luck-based and weird. Yeah, 5 is kind of an oddball one. Sonic Heroes, I'm not that big of a Sonic Heroes guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to disappoint, but just the truth. Hold up, I want to try something out here too. I want to see if I zoom out more, are you guys able to see this better? Okay, that seems way better, so you guys can actually see the list that we're working with here. Okay, so where do we go to here? Where do we go from here? Well, let me pull something up here. Okay, so I think for here, let's go ahead and where do I want to go from here? Like, part of me is trying to delay going into a lot of the top dog ones, but it's so hard. It's so hard to do that, but I think I'm gonna have to. All right, let's go ahead and do a little bit with that. We're gonna put Metal Gear Solid 2. It has substance. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, technically that is the better version of the game. Whatever. That's cool art anyways. Metal Gear Solid 2 is, and I know that Dallas, you had mentioned, wanted to hear about this. Metal Gear Solid 2 is so good. I know that this game everybody has to talk about it, but the game was not like back in the day because of Raiden. Yeah, shut up. This game's really good. I think that for me, it took a little bit to pick up after first getting to the rig, but I think once that happens and once you start seeing some of the stuff fall into place, it gets really good. And the way that everything ties together at the end is so fantastic. If you have not played Metal Gear Solid 2, you probably have seen clips, and those clips come from the very end of the game when everything starts falling apart, and you just go, what the fuck is going on? It's incredibly well written. It's posted a lot because it's incredibly relevant. I think the other thing about Metal Gear Solid 2 is that Metal Gear Solid 2's gameplay over Metal Gear Solid 1 is such a huge leap. The game looks visually way better too. Like, Metal Gear's always been pretty good about these big graphical leaps. And Metal Gear Solid 2 is certainly much better about that. Now, Metal Gear Solid 1's story, I think, maybe more solid with less highs. But the thing about Metal Gear Solid 1's story is that there's not really that many surprises in a modern day and age because a lot of it is just common knowledge if you're around in the video game hobby for long enough. None of the big twists really caught me off guard because I was already familiar with them. But Metal Gear Solid 2, that's a game where I was like, oh god, what is happening? I think the other thing about Metal Gear Solid 2 is that Raiden to me is a pretty interesting character. As somebody who is just generally so... like, they're conscious of their past, but at the same time, they're not. And it's almost like they've kind of, like, tried to transform themselves and, you know, of course, like, black out those parts of those memories because they're so traumatic and such. And I think it's a really good depiction of trauma and generally how it affects somebody and how it kind of persists for them. And for Raiden in particular, it persists not in just a mental capacity, but also in a physical one with the existence of Solidus. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 is really good. It's a good video game. Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead, if we're on the talking about the Metal Gear train, we may as well just go ahead and throw this game on here. I will talk more about this game later, because I think a lot of people already know how much I like it. We will revisit this one. Don't you worry. It'll be back. Yo, Anthony, how you doing? Oh wait, what's poppin'? Oh shoot, terrible. You? Now where do I want to... oh, you know what, let's do this. I haven't talked about this. Some old people on the channel may remember... like, you may not be physically old, but if you've been around a while. I'm not calling you old, I promise. I already get called old enough. Gears of War 3. I really love the Gears of War series. The original trilogy in particular. 4, I think, is and I haven't beaten 5 because I just can't motivate myself to. Gears of War 3 was one of the most important multiplayer games for me. The multiplayer in this game is fantastic. It's really intense. It can be really sweaty. People do not mess around when they play Gears. They're like bouncing off walls, going flying and everything like that. But the way that they do team deathmatch is great in this game. I think having it, your whole team has a set of lives rather than first to a certain score number, makes it feel a little bit more like, oh gosh, I'm the last one standing. I gotta clutch this up. And then you make fun of your friend when he tries to clutch it up and then messes up horribly. But Gears of War 3's story is also really strong. There's some big emotional moments in here. Gears of War 2 may have a better story, but I think Gears of War 3, I think for me, it just really hits. The voice acting in this game is also very good. The gunplay feels great. I love the new guns in here. Gears of War has some really good music as well. I think a lot of people look at Gears and go, it's just a dude bro shooter, and for a lot of reasons it is. It is very much a dude bro shooter, but there are actually some very heartfelt moments that are quite moving, and yeah, Gears is one of those series that even if some of the newer ones I'm not as into, I go, yeah, you know, you could get me to play it. Like, I'm actually very excited for the new one, E-Day, which is going to be a prequel going back to when the Locust first arrived. Did you ever play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance? I did. I like Rising Revengeance. I beat it in 5 hours. Hi, Abby. Oh, goodbye. I beat it in about 5 hours, like on the dot. It's stupid, but it's great. It's very stupid. Speaking of pretty influential multiplayer shooters, Halo Reach. Halo Reach really was kind of my first foray into becoming an Xbox owner. I got my Halo Reach Xbox 360 actually upstairs here in this house. I haven't brought it over to my place yet. But Forge mode and creating maps for my friends and I to play on. The gunplay in this game feels really good. There are, of course, some issues that a lot of people have, well, in terms of bloom and armor abilities. And yeah, sometimes it could be a little frustrating, but overall, it's a game that I can enjoy going back to. And I think Halo, again, it's a game that maybe people kind of, especially if they played more Nintendo games, they may underestimate. You know, it doesn't have a good story, but Halo does have a good story. Halo 2's story is absolutely fantastic. Some of the, you know, I said that Star Fox 64 is the most quotable game of all time. Halo 2 is gotta have some of the best quotes as well. It's up there. Like, may your heresy stay your feet, or may the weight of your heresy stay your feet. That line goes crazy. This is a lot of good stuff in Halo 2. And there's Breaking Benjamin. They have Blow Me Away at one point. I'm kind of missing my shifts. I got a week off coming up. Yo, that's awesome. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy that. And just 2 and 3 are leaps and bounds. Yeah, I agree. I think I enjoy 2 and 3 more personally. Armor lock, yeah. Well, I bet they had a patch where if you shoot armor lock, it actually depletes faster, which is a good change. But God, armor lock be dumb. Armor lock be very dumb. Do I want to put another Halo game on here? I currently have 23 games. I think I'm going to wait for the time being because I know that some other series are going to take a lot of space. I don't know if any Metroid game would make my list. I like Metroid Prime, I like Super Metroid, but I don't know if any of them would make my list. Same as Donkey Kong. I've never been that big of a Donkey Kong guy. Kirby and Yoshi, very similar. I don't think any of those make my cut. Do I want to put the original Luigi's Mansion on here? We'll go ahead for the time being. I like Luigi's Mansion a lot. Speaking of games that you can beat very fast, Luigi's Mansion is one of those. It's fun. The gameplay is pretty simple, but it's compelling enough to carry it for its runtime. The final boss is a little weak, but I don't know. It's kind of just like Resident Evil with vacuum cleaner. I think that's maybe one of the best ways to describe it. I didn't get to experience Halo until my high school years in the late 2010s, and I'm sad I didn't get to experience it. Oh yeah, it's so good. Halo back in the day, Halo 3, I would like to remind people, was the biggest media launch of all time when it came out. That is insane. It's actually nuts. The entirety of Shipmaster's speech, oh hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, also going through the roster. I don't Original Ice Climbers. I'm not Dr. Mario guy. I already got Star Fox. Does Fire Emblem go on my list? If any Fire Emblem game is going to go on my list, it would be this one. Path of Radiance is the best Fire Emblem game in my personal opinion. That being said, out of the ones that I've played, I have not played quite a lot of Fire Emblem. I have beaten 3 houses, and sorry, no, I've not beaten 3 houses. Good heavens, I've probably sunk maybe 4 hours into 3 houses. Very not much at all. I beat Awakening, I beat Path of Radiance, and I finished most of, well, just over here it's Fire Emblem, but you know, Land and Hector and Elliewood and such. So I've really only beaten like 2 and a majority of a third. So my exposure to Fire Emblem is not very high, but I just think that as strategy RPGs generally are not my, they're not my cup of tea. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the genre, it's just not my personal thing. Go back and experience Peak Halo 3 and Reach on Xbox Live again. Yes, take me back to custom games. I know you're saving Zelda, so I'll treat my fit there. What? No, I hate Zelda. I would never put it on here. Let's go ahead and put. Okay, I'm gonna put this on here, but there's a big asterisk. Nier Replicant, specifically 1.22. I think Nier Replicant's music and story are fantastic. This is one of the best soundtracks out there, and I think the story, despite the fact that really a lot of the information is not directly presented to you, and it takes... You gotta do some research to figure it out. But when you look at it as a whole, it's really good. My problem with Nier... I got 2 problems with Nier Replicant. One, I think the gameplay is very middling. I was talking about how a solid basic gameplay system could be good to carry a game. I don't think it works for this game, because it's a little bit too basic for my taste. The sword combos, especially if you're coming off of Automata, is not enough. And I don't think it's enough to carry it through its entire weight, especially because you have to go through multiple routes in this game. And in my opinion, I think that Route B should have been cut. That may be a hot take. I think Route B should have been merged with Route C. Like, I don't think you needed to beat the game, beat it one more time to get the B route, and then beat it again to get the C route with the different dialogue. I don't think that it needed to be handled like that, personally. I think they could have organized it in a better way. So it's hard. As a game, I don't love it. But as an entire experience, I do really like it. It is one of the best hindsight games that exists. After you finished it and you think back on it, you're like, yeah, man, that stuff is great. But I'm not sure that I would necessarily want to go back and play it again. It's kind of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 has some really great stuff in it. And in hindsight, you're like, yo, do you remember that stand that was a sun? That was so funny. But I'm not necessarily sure that I want to go back and watch all of Part 3 again. Take care, Anthony. Have a good one. Okay. I'm gonna put it on there for the time being. Because I do think that the story... Replicant's story is better, but Automata's gameplay is better. So I don't know which one to go with. I think I'll just put Replicant, though. Okay. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this one. Uncharted 2. I think Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 4 are both pretty close together, but I think I liked a lot of the final stretch of Uncharted 2 a little bit more. It has more of that mystic bullshit that I really like. I like a good mystic stuff. Like when I'm watching Indiana Jones, when like, you know, you open the Ark and spooky ghosts start melting people's face off, or like You know, this dude drinks a cup and he just like immediately turns into a skeleton. That's great. I'm all about that stuff. That's great. You hide the mystical bullshit in what seems to be a, for the most part, grounded narrative. Big fan of that stuff. In a way, Xenoblade does the exact opposite of that. It's like you have mystical bullshit everywhere, but then the realism is just like the stuff that hits a little bit closer to home is buried underneath that. I love it. I love that. Tonal whiplash, big fan. But Uncharted 2 is really good. Strong music. I think the setting of Shambhala is pretty good as well. I think it pushes Nate in a bit of an interesting direction. In terms of just like, okay, maybe I'm going too far. Uncharted 1 compared to Uncharted 2. Like, Uncharted 1 is a very mediocre game. It's fine for introducing the characters, but the gameplay and just the structure is very underwhelming. But man, Uncharted 2 is... We're talking about sequels that kick it up a notch. Oh yeah. Okay, we're currently at 32. I am now beginning to see the end, and I'm realizing that I need to consider my picks. Did you get to experience Cash Crashers? I did not. I did play Battle Block Theater, which I believe was by the same studio, though. Okay. Let's be conscious of what games deserve to go on this list. I wanna look at like a... I want to look at the best games of all time list just to kind of help me also refresh my memory in case I'm forgetting something. Like this game, for example, that I just saw. Well, actually it wasn't for this game. I think it was for Red Dead 2, but it made me think of this game because it looks similar. Shadow of the Colossus is a game that I think everybody needs to experience at least once in their life. It's not a long game, which is good. It's only about 10 hours. The PS4 remake, I think, is beautiful. I think it looks really great. I think it controls a little bit better, too. But Shadow of the Colossus is really good at atmospheric storytelling, very minimal dialogue, solid music, and it's just like a puzzle boss rush, which is a really cool premise that we have not seen in really many other games. There was one called Pray for the Gods that tried to capture the same, but it just didn't catch on to the same. I think it's still good, though. Ocarina of Time? No. Who would put Ocarina of Time on their list? Who would do that? Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus is great. And I know a lot of people like Ico, and there's some people that like Lost Guardian. Or is it Last Guardian? Last Guardian. But this has always been, pound for pound, the best one for me. Bioshock's good. I don't think I'd put it in here, though. Oh, okay. This dude's list that I'm looking at right now, Alejandro, I mess with this list. Ocarina of Time, Shadow of the Colossus, Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eaters, Super Mario Galaxy. Is he me? Uncharted 2? Yeah, this guy may be me. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Yep. Good call by Brian here. Resident Evil 4. Talk about a game that I may sit down to get like a little bit of footage at the beginning. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna get a little bit of footage. And then I'm starting to do the Village Defense segment, and then before I know it, I just can't stop playing it. If you start playing Resident Evil 4, you don't stop playing Resident Evil 4. You just don't. The dialogue is so corny, but in the best, most loving way possible. Your right hand comes off. Another one of the most quotable games of all time is very much on that list. The gameplay still feels good to this very day. And it was a game that made me go, how do you top this? How do you possibly try to remake the greatest game, or one of the greatest games of all time? I don't think you can. But you know what? They did. And you know what's the other crazy thing? It's good. It's actually really good. One might argue it's actually close to being as good, if not as good, as the original, but in kind of a different way. Enemies are a lot more aggressive because you have a lot more options at your disposal, and your movement is just better. They did cut out some segments from the Resident Evil 4, but for the most part, they kind of replaced it with something that is still kind of cool. And regenerators are even scarier. I didn't know that was possible, but they did it. And the music's really good in this game too. The Salazar boss fight is completely reworked. And Leon's kind of, he's talking crap a little bit during the fight. The music's kind of going crazy. That's the best fight in the game to me. Did you like any Pikmin, Splatoon, or Animal Crossing? So I like Pikmin. I don't love Pikmin, but I like Pikmin 1. I like Pikmin 3. I have not played Pikmin 2 or 4. Splatoon, I'm not a Splatoon guy personally. I think it's an interesting idea, but I could go on a whole rant about Splatoon 2 and about how disappointing that game is. With their party system, I have no idea how that was acceptable in the year that it came out, when Halo was doing it back in 2001. Better. Might be recency bias, but Requiem may be in my top 50. I haven't been able to play Requiem. I was looking for a copy of that in Pacopia, and I couldn't find them. I just couldn't. So at that point, I have... Is that, Oh no, now we're at 30 games. We're at 30 games right now. Whew. I'm done. It does feel a little weird having Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake and a Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 4 Remake on here. But oh well. Alright, let's go back and look at this list again to see if there's anything else that jumps out. Assassin's Creed 2 is a good game, but I have not played that in a while, so I can't speak to it. Ooh. That's a good game. That's a good game right there. Kingdom Hearts 2. This is by far the best Kingdom Hearts game. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 may be one of my favorite games to watch a Let's Play of, but I don't necessarily enjoy playing Kingdom Hearts 1 as much. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get Kingdom Hearts 2. And then I had to play Chain of Memories, and I was like, stop it. I don't want to play Chain of Memories. I'm not a deck building kind of guy. And then I got the Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm just like, you know what? There's some corny stuff in here. There's some cheesy stuff. Mickey Mouse going, they'll pay for this, after Goofy gets a rock dropped on his head. Or just like, did somebody mention the door to darkness? Like, why? The writing in Kingdom Hearts has never been good. But, God, I love this game. Kingdom Hearts is, okay, this may get me attacked on the spot for this opinion right here. I think Kingdom Hearts is a series that may have more mediocre to not good games than good games. I think 1, 2, and Birth by Sleep I put in the good category. I don't like 3 that much, I'm gonna be real with you. 3 made me upset. 3's got good music, but some of those choices they made in 3 make me upset. And some of the other games just they aren't hitting. I actually really like the broken mechanics in Dream Drop Distance. It's not called parkour. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, but you can like break the game in half with that mechanic, and I kind of like that. I was kind of going on a bit of a power trip. But I think, yeah, I don't know. That's my opinion on Kingdom Hearts, but I like Kingdom Hearts 2. This game's just got style. And I think the other thing, too, is Kingdom Hearts kind of clickbaits you. Let me show you what I mean. So, I like, you know, you have some, like... Where's the one I'm looking for in particular? Okay, here we go. Let me get this link. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Kingdom Hearts' art is like the sickest thing ever. Look at this piece of art. This art is so cool. And I look at this and I go, this character, he's got like an attitude to him. He looks like he's just about to kind of like, you know, he's got some spunk, he's got some character, and I feel clickbaited because that's not Sora. Sora is just, he's Goku. He's just optimism incarnate. And I kind of wish that he just had a little bit of, I don't know, I wish he had a little bit more of that personality that the art conveys. And it makes me upset. I know perhaps, maybe that's just the fault of the art for leading me astray, but, yeah, I don't know, man. Kingdom Hearts art is so cool, and I just feel like sometimes I go into the game and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what I was expecting. Anyways, Kingdom Hearts 2, good game. OG Lego Star Wars, like Complete Saga, also Silent Hill 2 remake, or Yakuza 0. I need to play Yakuza 0. I've heard it would be a game that I would very much enjoy. I wish you spent a day of Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, I mean, I just need Shadow the Hedgehog to hand him like a Glock or something like that and teach him to say the word damn, you know? Sora's got a lot of Keyblades, but none of them have a built-in gun. I think that's what the Kingdom Hearts series has been missing. But they could shoot lasers, but, you know. Alright, alright, what else do I want to put on this list? Let's go take a look again at this list. Katana Zero. God of War. I am not playing new God of War, so I can't speak to that. Okay, they put Gears of War 3 on their list. Good pick, good pick. Symphony of the Night. It's a good game. I don't know if it's on there for me. Oh, you know what? I think I do have to do this. I know this for a lot of people is just like, lol, game dead, game sucks. But if we could be real here for a second. I'm actually, hold up, we'll get the classic box art, so. But Overwatch, I really do love Overwatch. This is the first person, this is probably the game, no, it's not probably, it is the game that I have sunk the most time into. I put an obscene amount of time into Overwatch. I've been playing religiously since 2016 when I got it on my Xbox One. The characters just feel really fun to play. A lot of characters just kind of connect with me, and they've done a really, despite all the garbage that happened with Overwatch 2's release. I know a lot of people cite the PvP promise, or the PvE promise. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that disappointed. I was disappointed in the fact that it was like, okay, now you're going back on why you made it a 2, but I wasn't disappointed because their previous attempts at PvE were not very good. And I did not think they were going to give me some sauce at this. I just did not feel that excited for it. The multiplayer has always been the biggest draw, and I think now Aaron Keller has done a really good job of getting this ship back on course, given all of the garbage that was put on his plate. He had so much stuff to get through, and he really turned this game around to the point where now getting consistent new content, there's consistent crossovers, characters are getting reworked, so on and so forth. It's really good, and they added Vendetta, who is just Cloud Strife and Ike in the form of an Italian woman in a character, and I love it. She is amazing. She is so much fun to play. Have you tried Epicopia? I have not, Tim. I have not been able to get a copy, but I actually haven't looked in like probably the last week and a half. But yeah, I wasn't able to find it because when I was looking, it was all sold out. You know, also, Dallas asked about Animal Crossing earlier. Animal Crossing, I don't mind Animal Crossing. I think it's a cozy game. I think it's cute. But it's not something I could put a ton of time into. I think like a lot of other people. Okay, so what else do we put on the list here? The Last of Us. I'm not the Last of Us guy, personally. Okay, I think that really hits all the different games I would have put on there based off of that. Oh, you know what? I'm putting it on here. We're going with a niche pick. Zack and Wiki, Quest for Barbarossa's Treasure. I think this game is just very creative. This is Capcom being weird, and I like it. The puzzles are very fun, very unique. Are some of them a little bullshit? Yes. Some of the puzzles in this game, you're like, how the heck was I supposed to figure that out? And the Wiimote controls are definitely janky because this game was pretty early in the Wii's lifespan. But this game's got a lot of character, it's got a lot of heart, a lot of puzzles that I got. That's really cool. That's really cool. And I really wish that it got a follow-up. I really do. But I know that it probably didn't sell the best and warrant it. I have it on digital, so it's a choice. Yeah, I'm such a sucker for a physical copy if I can. Harvest Moon or games I have no life for 2 to 3 weeks out of the year and don't touch again until the next year. Do I put Minecraft on here? I like Minecraft. This game may get cut, potentially. But I have put a decent amount of time in the Minecraft, and I do think it's a fun game with a lot of possibilities at your disposal. I messed with Game Chat last weekend. It's kind of good just to talk to someone. The option to share screens is an option. Yeah, I think the screen sharing is pretty good. I think the thing that I've always just wondered is like why I guess I would use it over Discord, because I just use Discord most of the time for stuff. Okay, we're coming up on 35 games on the list, and I'm starting to realize that I need to start adding some of the big series that I have not done yet. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, Mega Man X4. It is, in my opinion, the best Mega Man game. The dialogue and the cutscenes is cheesy. They're cheesy. I love it. They're amazing. The gameplay just feels really good. The sprite work is fantastic. Soundtrack is amazing. You can play as Mega Man or as Zero. They're both fun. None of the game doesn't feel like it's unbalanced for one or the other characters, unlike with other games in the series where it feels like one character is at a severe disadvantage. X6. But yeah. Mega Man X is just consistent the entire time. It's really good. It kicked off the X series. The movement feels great. I really don't have any bad things to say about Mega Man X. But these are, pound for pound, the 2 best Mega Man games. If I have to include one from the classic series, it would be Mega Man 6. It used to be Mega Man 3. And then I realized how much I hate Doc Robot stages. I can't stand those stages. Mega Man 3 starts off with such a unique roster of weirdos. You have Gemini Man, Snake Man, Magnet Man. Like, what are we doing here? There's a Top Man. But I like that. I quite enjoy that part about it. But the problem is the Doc Robot stages just suck. The Shadow Man one is fine. The Spark Man one is fine. The Needle Man one is horrendous. And then I don't even like the Gemini Man one that much. And then Wily's Castle after that is really easy. you can go for Wily's Castle because they also just force feed you E-tanks and extra lives. But the Doc Robot stages just really bring it down. Anyways, Mega Man 6, why do I like it? It still captures some of that weirdo energy from Mega Man 3. You got like Centaur Man, there's like Nightman, which I guess that one's not that weird. But then there's like, here's Yamato Man and Tomahawk Man, and then who else you got in there? That's kind of, you got like Lizard Man, stuff like that. Well, that's more traditional, I guess. But he's skiing. That's funky. That's weird. It's fun. I like it. The music is great. It has this like very distinctive like whine to it that actually thinks the fact that it was the end of the classic series for the NES era. But this is the one that I probably enjoy going back to the most out of the classic games. I've never been a big Mega Man 2 guy. I think it is a huge jump over Mega Man 1, but there's still a lot of stuff about Mega Man 2 that I just don't vibe with as much in terms of level design and some of the visual of it, just because it's still finding its footing. Like, let's be real here. In Heatman stage, who actually does the invisible block portion? Or do you just use Weapon 2 to go past it? I don't think I've ever done the invisible block portion of that. I've always used Weapon 2. Because why would I? It's long, it's annoying, and I could just blip past it later. So it's like, something about just being able to skip past such a large part of the level to me, and that's just the general way to do it, makes me question the level design. And that's not the only thing. I think Crash Man's stage is kind of weak. Vertical segments in Mega Man X games are the best. You have like Toxic Seahorse, you have Cyber Peacock, those are great. But in classic Mega Man, vertical segments are much more annoying because if you get hit and if you fall, there are less ways to recover, and usually you're going to be falling multiple screens, such as Crash Man, Ring Man, so on and so forth. I still use Discord most of the time, but being able to press a button and get into it is kind of neat. Yeah, I can understand that with the accessibility. Mega Man can be a little tough. I think the classic series is very much memorization. If you were to start with Mega Man, I think Mega Man X would honestly be a pretty fair point to jump into the series. Okay, so we've done 2 of the big dogs in Pokemon and Metal Gear. Let's just do it. Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time. Oh, oops. I mean, technically I do think that is the best version of the game, but we will go ahead and just put the original on there. And we'll put that. And let's put one more on there. 5 Mega Man games in this economy? Yes. Okay. Twilight Princess, to begin. It feels, yes, it is similar to Ocarina of Time in terms of its more traditional formula, but I still feel it does its own stuff. Yeah, you have the grass and then the fire and then the water, you know, the big whoop. But, like, I think its Hyrule and its dungeon designs are different enough to warrant it feeling more unique. I think that this game does have some of the strongest temples in the entire series. I think the bosses are all really cool as well. Twilight Princess is a game that I've gone and I've revisited quite a number of times. Now I know some other people go, oh, it's a product of the 2000s where it's trying to be a little edgy, it's trying to be a little dark. Is it a little bit edgier than some of these other Zeldas? Yeah, it is. That doesn't make it bad, though. Look at this art. This art is sick. It's super cool. This is a great looking Link. I think actually, I know a lot of people have issue with Twilight Princess HD. I do think it actually did some things that were pretty good in terms of streamlining the Tears of Light. The Ganondorf fight in this game is so good. This is... It's either this or Ocarina of Time have the best Ganon fights. It's just a really solid experience, and I like Midna. I don't love Midna to the same extent as a lot of other people, especially in some ways, but yeah, Twilight Princess is awesome. Wind Waker is also awesome. very different, a lot more whimsical, but a very sophisticated Ganondorf as well, despite that. Ganondorf's written very well in this game. I like the dungeons and the temples in this game. Do I wish that there were some more? Yes, I do. I think Wind Waker HD is also the better way to play this game due to the way that the Triforce quest and the way that the playing the Wind Requiem is handled. Or Song of Gales, rather. Tried to get me into Twilight Princess for years and I couldn't because of the slow start, but now it's the top free Zelda for me. Yeah, so Zelda, I actually, funny enough, I wrote a paper on this. Let me see if I can find this. Hold up. I wrote a paper on this for grad school about how taking a look at video game tutorials and everything of the sorts. Yes, here we go. All right, let me go ahead. I'm gonna cut out the teacher's name just for the sake of being respectful here. So this is a paper that I wrote back in 2021. Oh gosh dang it. Hold up, how do I messed it up. Give me a sec. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I wrote this paper back in 2021 and it was kind of looking at generally like video game tutorials and everything and dissecting them. And I had a section in here, scrolling down, where I was talking about like diegetic and non-diegetic tutorials and everything of the sorts. But there was one where I looked at the Ocarina of Time. Yeah. So I had a section here where I talked about essentially the Ocarina of Time introduction and how it creates its tutorial versus Twilight Princess's tutorial. And one of the things that I talked about was that, yeah, tutorial woes. Twilight Princess does not need to do this since 3D games have become the main form of presentation in the mid-2000s. The main hub is the most complex in nature. I have not read this in a while, but kind of just citing some of the negatives with Ocarina, I know with Majora's, oh my gosh, what am I talking about? Twilight Princess's introduction and the pacing of it. But generally, it is quite long. I think at one point I mentioned how long. Oh, I talked about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in here. What did I say? For example, Xenoblade Chronicles 2's tutorials are infamous among fans and reviewers alike for their poor implementation. Not only are they overly verbose and layered, but they can never be accessed after they are initially read. True! Hypothetically, if a player were to put down the game for several months, come back to finish it later, and forget the tutorials, there's a high chance they would feel less compelled to continue playing it, since their options include looking to outside resources from the necessary. True! You know, 2021 me was spitting. Alright, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, we're gonna wait on those. Link's Awakening, this is my favorite overhead Zelda game of kind of the classic 2D formula. The other ones just didn't click with me as much. I know not having a Link to the Past on here is heinous, but Link to the Past is good. It's just not personally up there for me. I don't know. But Link's Awakening does a great job of capturing the whimsiness that I like about Zelda. Kid Icarus. I'm Mazer. Don't worry, I got you. It's up here. We're gonna reorder this later. My favorite game ever. And one neat thing is that as a kid, there was a weird thing where I could run around and achieve nothing yet still enjoy myself. I think that's the true magic of a good game right there. Not having a Link to the Past is heinous, but okay. Thank you for respecting me, Mazer. I appreciate you. Okay, well, I think I also have to go ahead and put this other series on here that I kind of like a little bit, and I think most people would probably found my channel through. Xenoblade Chronicles. Now, I technically do think Definitive Edition is the better game, and I do have DX on here. But then I also think like Kingdom Hearts 2 HD Remix 2.5 is better. Like, am I gonna get real specific about the particular versions that I have on here? Or am I just gonna pick the one that has the box art that looks better? I mean, how much worse does the Definitive Edition box art? It's whatever, it's the same thing. I'm putting it on there. Alright, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2. These are my two Xenoblade representatives that make it onto the list. I could talk more about Xenoblade 1 later. No, the list is not complete. I'm still making it. I'm currently at... Hi, Mia. I'm currently at, let's see... 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40... 44. So I don't have that many more picks left. I mean, some of these are going to get cut out as I start to remember other games that I really like. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 brought me back into really loving this series. X kind of lost my interest a bit. I still love Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but I love the narrative focus of it in particular. And Xenoblade Chronicles 2, from the first trailer, I was like, oh man, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. That prologue gripped me, and you know, at one point I was just like, okay, it's good. It's a good game, but I'm waiting for that moment. It just sinks its claws into me like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and then it happens in Chapter 7, and I go, hold up, what are we doing? And it doesn't let go. As Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is just a really strong package overall. I know that this game has resonated with a ton of people, has helped a ton of people. I know Anel, for instance, and a lot of other people would have it as their #1 game of all time. It's a game that I do want to revisit. Unfortunately, like, I haven't exposed myself to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as much recently. It's just been kind of a little bit hard to go back to, admittedly, but not for due to the quality of the game. But it is something that I think I'm going to bring myself back to here at some point, so I can start to really love the game again. And then we'll talk about Xenoblade Chronicles later. Alright, let's get this here. Oh, this is going to be... What if I look this up? Okay, there we go. 9 hours, 9 purses, 9 doors. Yep. Yep. That's in there. One of the games that kind of changed what I thought could be done in the game. I have 5 more spots on here. Although I'm starting to hit this point where I'm like, what else would I put on here? But I know that there's some games I'm definitely forgetting, so if anybody remembers any, or thinks of any good ones that I may be like, oh yeah, throw them out, and I'll see if any of them make the cut for me. I'm trying to look at a list right now to be like, do I like this game? Would I put that game on here? Ooh, Katamari Damacy I like. I don't think it makes the cut though, but I like it. I like that game. Yeah, I talked about BioShock. I like BioShock. I don't think it made the cut. Dead Space 2 is also good. For some reason, I feel like there's some DS game that's like slipping under the radar for me. Oh, I do like The Walking Dead Season 1 from Telltale. Inside was fine. Fortnite! Katamari. Trials and Tribulations. Ooh, those are both good. Yeah, I talked about Katamari. Trials and Tribulations is the best Phoenix Wright game. I love Godot. Godot would be up there as one of my favorite characters. I don't know if I would put Trials and Tribulations in my top 50, though. And maybe something else that takes the spot. Minish Cap deserves some recognition. I like Minish Cap. I don't love Minish Cap, but I like it. It's a good game. I can't necessarily say that I have any like huge glaring issue with it, but Battle for Bikini Bottom, yo, let's go! I'm a geek. GTA, Vice City, Ghost of Tsushima, or Spider-Man PS4. I never got a chance to play Spider-Man PS4. You know, Battlefront on the old PlayStation is pretty good. I miss, though, a lot of, like, the big PlayStation 2 games everybody likes. I never got to play Ratchet & Clank. I never really got to play Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter. Those are all games that I missed out on that I would like to go to at some point. Rocket League is a fun game to play and just kind of chat with people about. Playing. I suck at Rocket League. So I really like the Wii. So let me go look at what some of the best recognized Wii games are. Would Rhythm Heaven Fever make my list? I don't think it would. But I like Rhythm Heaven Fever quite a bit. Oh, ooh, do I put that on there? I may put that one on there. That may be a slight cut above some of the other ones that I've mentioned as not being on there. I bet this may be the last Mario game on here. Super Paper Mario. Hot take. I like this game. Is this crazy to not have Thousand Year Door on my list, but to have the original Paper Mario and then to have Super Paper Mario? Wii Sports Bro. Wii Sports took the world by storm. People were going crazy, throwing their Wiimotes at TVs. Epic Mickey sold 2 million? Jeez. I like NES games. So part of me kind of wants to put Castlevania 3 on there. Oh, I like Punch-Out! I never beat Punch-Out. It's like one of the only games that I really like that I have never beaten. I also really like the original Ninja Gaiden. Ragebound was really good. I think Ragebound is the best Ninja Gaiden, so if I'm going to put one on there, it's going to be Ragebound. But I'll tell you what, I haven't beaten it yet. I really like the Lost Crown, Prince of Persia. This may be recency bias. This may indeed be recency bias, but I've really been enjoying this game. That may be my favorite Metroidvania. Yeah, so I can go through real quickly what we have so far. Star Fox 64, Earthbound, Mother 3, Batman Arkham Asylum, Kid Icarus Uprising, Final Fantasy VII, and Remake, Skullgirls, Smash Ultimate, Pokemon White and White 2, Platinum, Emerald, Soul Silver, Paper Mario, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Mario Party 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, a lot of 2s, oh my god, Sonic Mania, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Gears of War 3, Halo Reach, Luigi's Mansion, Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, Nier Replicant 1.22, Uncharted 2, Shadow of the Colossus, Resident Evil 4 and its remake, Kingdom Hearts 2, Overwatch, Zack and Wiki, Minecraft, Mega Man X4, Mega Man X, Mega Man 6, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Link's Awakening DX, Xenoblade Chronicles, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, Super Paper Mario, and The Lost Crown. Oh, alright. And then, I'm still trying to figure out 3 more games, and potentially some others may get cut. I like Punch-Out. I like Punch-Out a lot. But does Punch-Out make the list? What about the best GameCube games? I don't have any Metroid or Pikmin, which may be a little crazy to some people. I'm sorry. I just don't be moving with them as much. I think I have the GameCube cleared out at this point. Like, I think I have all the GameCube games that I would want on here. GoldenEye 07, Super Mario Bros. 3. I like Super Mario Bros. 3. It would have been higher on here, but I think it's fallen down over the years. I guess I've just always been more of a 2D. Oh, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I think that's the best 2D Mario, is Mario Wonder. But I don't know if it's top 50. But I liked Wonder a lot. GoldenEye 7, Dark Souls. Nah, I've actually never really played Dark Souls enough to give an opinion. A lot of the Bethesda RPGs never really connected with me. Simpsons Hit and Run is funny. TMNT Turtles in Time. Oh, yeah, TMNT games are good. I used to play TMNT 2, I think, the most. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna run to the restroom real fast, and then I will continue streaming this. So I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. We are back though. And I need to pull that up. Let's see. Okay. MGS free then that's supposed to be on the list. Yeah, I have MGS free, so we're good there. Okay. So here's the thing, right? Can I save this list? I can. So we're gonna save this list. Shrek 2 or Piglet's Big Game? Okay, so this is saved. I want to go back and look at my other list to see. I had this from years ago. We're gonna see if there's anything in here that I'm forgetting. Yes. I see one. I see one game. Xenogears. Xenogears, I think, has the best Xeno story. Just straight up. This game's gameplay, while not the strongest, is still solid enough, and the story is so good, so powerful. I just like this idea that, like, what if you were fated to essentially almost star-crossed lovers in a way, that just be like just this close to finally be with somebody, but just always stripped away from you every time until you gotta fight fate in order to do it. I love it. Really love it. I could be a little bit of a sap sometimes. Xenogears brings it out of me. Xenosaga Free would be on this list if you finish it. It very well might. It very well may be the case. Well, now that I'm here at this place and I honestly don't have that many distractions, I probably can finish. Could probably go ahead and finish Xenosaga 3. Okay. But what other game? What other game could I possibly add to this list? I'm like trying to. I'm almost drawing a blank. Hi, Addie. Hi. Hi, girl. My dog Addie is staring at me. She's also deaf now, so she can't really hear the best. But she's trying. Yeah? Trying to do some research here. I think I had some resources that I could refer to from last time. Yeah, here's the list I actually made a while ago. There are some games on here that I would not have on here anymore. What the heck? Why'd I have some of these games on here? What was I doing? What was I doing? I mean, some of them were close ones again that I was like, well, I would. Can't start Metal Gear 2, you do. I know. I know. I was reminded of that recently, too. To the Moon. I think I'm gonna put To the Moon on here. To the Moon is, again, one of those games that the dialogue can be pretty cheesy and cringe at times, but I think that the core narrative behind it is really strong and really powerful. What? I think my dog has to go out. Give me 1 second here. Let's go let her out. You gotta go outside? Here. Okay, there we go. But yeah, To the Moon's got a really nice narrative. It's a quick game, too. You can pump it out pretty fast, which I appreciate. What goes in the last spot? So on this previous list, I had like Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. I had Left 4 Dead 2. I would not put Left 4 Dead 2 in there. Mortal Kombat 9. I do have a lot of good experience with that. I put Tears of the Kingdom in like honorable mentions. I don't agree with that. I did put Punch-Out and Halo 3 in this list. I put Sonic Adventure in there. I put Bioshock Infinite. I don't think Bioshock Infinite has aged too well in my mind, though. Really, the only other thing that seems to be different is having regular gold and silver, and then like Breath of the Wild and Legends Arceus. What about Concord for the PS5? You know what? That's a good question. That's a good question. Oh, alright, welcome back. Come here, you wanna say hi? Howdy. Right, she's deaf. She's deaf. I forgot that she can't hear me. Finished it right now on stream. Speedrun it, coward. You want to speedrun? Oh, hi, Mia. Come here. You want to say hi to the people? Come here. No? Okay. Do you want to go out? Oh, okay. Alright. Sorry, now I have to let the other dog out. Alright. It's a lot of getting up and moving, but... Okay, you know what? This is my list. I think I would feel bad if I didn't put the original Silver on here. Just because, like, this was the first... I have a lot of nostalgic attachment to this game. And I think, yeah, having Soul Silver and Silver on here may be crazy business. But I just, something about this original sprite work and the music, I just have a lot of attachment to. What about Undertale? I don't think I would put Undertale on my list personally. Hollow Knight, Shovel Knight. I do like Shovel Knight. I've actually never played Hollow Knight. For Mortal Kombat 9 is the only one that I would actually consider about putting on this list. And I don't think I would put Mortal Kombat 9 on here. I mean, if I look at this list and I'm like, what games would I cut to make room for something else? Like, let me start organizing these a bit. Let me start moving some of these around. Yep. Okay. Yep. I sound like that guy from the end of Better Call Saul. Yep. My bank was funding terrorism. Yep. Good. Never seen Better Call Saul. This probably sounds really weird out of context, but where's that game? Where are you? There you are. All right, that's the top 5. You could be somewhere down here. You can get your butt up there. Get your butt up there. You can play up there with the big dogs too. Actually, no, you can. No, not you. Yep. I mean, again, you guys are pretty much the same games to me, so no crazy buzz. You said my bank was funding terrorism as I was writing it. Bare genitals. Yep. Okay. You're higher up there. You're gonna go further down. I think you're gonna go further down too. You can go around there. You get yourself up there. I'm just gonna put Silver next to Soul Silver. Hey, you too, Dallas. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. You guys gotta go up there. Zelda games being this low doesn't sit right with me. Like I said, this order isn't gonna be perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I can at least get something here. Would I rather play Wind Waker over Platinum? I think I would. Mother 3's a little bit lower down. Sonic 2 should be higher up. Sonic 2 goes there. Sonic Mania. I think right now in my life I actually like Sonic 2 more than I like Sonic Mania. I like Twilight Princess more than I like Wind Waker. But they're both like really good. I think I like Shadow of the Colossus more. I'd go back and I'd play Shadow of the Colossus before I play Final Fantasy VII, but Final Fantasy VII had a more significant. My list has basically been refined over like 6 years, so yeah, doing it all once like this is definitely difficult. Yeah, this is certainly not going to be perfect at all. Oh, what are you doing down there? Hold up. Get yourself up there. Yeah, like, no, you're better. I like you more than Resident Evil. We saw 2 more than Resident Evil. Skate 2? Shit. How could I forget? Seven Gears is gonna go higher up. Even 6 and X are gonna go higher up. Oh, this is just a mess. This is an absolute mess that I'm looking at right now. Okay. Would I go back and play Overwatch before? I think that's a good spot for Overwatch, honestly. I like Emerald more than Final Fantasy VII Remake. I like Platinum more than that. I like Platinum more than that. Platinum more than Overwatch. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 feels low, though. Xenoblade 2 more than Remake in that, for sure. X is higher up. I mean, I like X more than 6. I like X more than Mania. I think Shadow of the Colossus is a little higher right now. Overwatch 2? We don't talk about that one. We don't so let's not talk about that one. Yeah. I mean, which ones are going to be near the bottom of this? I think Minecraft is really going to be there in the bottom line, skirted it. I think To the Moon being here. Yeah. Uncharted 2 is a little bit lower on my list right now. This is some recency bias that I have Prince of Persia up here. Seven Remake's just going down a bit more. I think I like 7 Remake more than I like Arkham Asylum and Luigi's Mansion. I think I like more than Mother 3. I like Earthbound more than Mother 3, but yes. Oh, this is the not fun part. Okay, if I were to look definitively at my top 10, both tied for 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Here, yeah, 6. Again, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna count these. This is an. Oh, you can have a note. You can count these as 1, even though that's technically cheating. But whatever, it's my list. I get to do what I want. 6, 7, 8, 9, and Resident Evil 10 rounding out my top 10. Yeah, I feel good about that. So the JoJo fandom blowing Netflix a while ago. Yeah, is it? Apparently, just again, Part 7. What are they doing? What's going on here? Why do they keep messing up my JoJo's. Stop it. Do I like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 more than Emerald in those games? This is tough. This is where it gets really tough because I'm trying to weigh it from from a narrative perspective. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, 100%. But just like, I feel like I could go and pick up Emerald more often. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I have to give props because it's kind of like what allowed me to even be doing what I'm doing right now. And the fact that I have Overwatch over Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is probably... it keeps moving down. I like Overwatch. I think that's a good spot for Link's Awakening. There, yeah, I'd put it there. Galaxy 2 dropped off quite a lot. Galaxy 2 used to be, like, up there for me. Do I like Halo Reach more than Gears 3? I think I do. Adding all this Pokemon games is wild. I don't know, man. I like Pokemon. Zelda and Pokemon are my two favorite series, so it makes sense to have some of the most reps. 1, 2... how many Zelda reps I got 5 Zelda reps on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 Pokemon reps. Technically, if I'm counting these as like one experience, then it's not, you know? But then if I'm technically counting those as one experience, then I can add 2 games on here. Ugh, see what I mean? This is the problem. This is the problem here. Okay. I think here is what I've decided. Here's what I've decided I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut White 2 off the list, and I'm going to cut Soul Silver. Only because for my list, I'm going to put a note here. Putting a note that this includes including those sequels. And this includes Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So there we go. This is how I'm getting around it. This is how I am cheating. Because these games and their remakes are effectively pretty similar, but the other remakes I have on here, like Final Fantasy VII, is a pretty damn different game than the original. Even Resident Evil 4 is actually more different than Soul Silver is compared to the original, in my opinion. So that's how I'm cheating. And then I get to add 2 more games. Hell yeah, we're putting Punch-Out on here. Wait, that's not the Punch-Out I want. No, not Super Punch-Out. Hell yeah! Give me my... Well, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Let's be real here. And then what am I adding as my last game here? Do I add Sonic Adventure to make Mazer mad? Or do I have to... Does Breath of the Wild go on here? I just... Punch-Out is... I've never beaten it. I've never beaten it. But it's like... Something about it captures this goofiness and charm that I really like. It's very... Let's be real. Punch-Out is not the most sensitive of people's cultures. It is very, very much based off of prejudices. But nobody escapes Nobody escapes Punch-Out. Don't add Sonic Adventure. Do I add Legends Arceus? Do I add another Pokemon game? I don't think... No, I can't. I can't. That's too many Pokemon games. But then do I add Black and White 2 back on? Oh, this sucks, man. This sucks. It's so tough. I don't know. I don't know. There's got to be some game that I'm not thinking of that I'm like, yes, should be on here. I'll put Dokapon. Nah, Dokapon's not on here. No. I like Dokapon. Alright, let me order what I got here first. Let's order this. Sonic Adventure is right there in the corner waiting to get picked. Pokemon Dash, Pokemon Park Wii, Pokemon Trozan Conquest. Get out of here. I'm putting Rangers on here. You can't stop me. Okay. Yes, I think these games are two games that border right on being there. I think Mega Man X goes up here. This is a game I can go revisit so much. Final Fantasy VII. I like it, but I don't think it's a very good game, if that makes sense. I kind of get what you mean. That's kind of how I feel about Nier. I like a lot about Nier, but as a playing a game, I'm not sure. Trying to manage out of Colossus. I feel good about that. Yeah, okay. So this is 20, 21, 22. I think that's fine. There's not here's one of the big Mario. I would actually want to play that. There's some slogs in Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's some sections that are definitely big slogs. No. I think Fire Emblem is going to be lower on my list, even though I do quite like it. Uncharted 2 has had quite a fall from grace compared to where it used to be. Resident Evil 4 Remake shouldn't be this low. Do I like Lost Crown? No, I like Zack and Wiki more. I like Zack and Wiki more than Batman? I don't think so. I think I like Batman more than Luigi's Mansion. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Nintendo DS browser. Shadow the Hedgehog deserves an honorable mention. I'm not putting Shadow the Hedgehog on here. I don't like that game. Actively don't like that game. Yeah. Would I rather play Kingdom Hearts 2 over Nier Replicant? I would rather play it over Nier Replicant. Skullgirls is going down. Jeez. Star Fox going up. This may be a recency bias. This may be a big recency bias. Is Minecraft on this list? It is indeed, Brittany. I do have Minecraft. It is down here. It gets worse over time because it was too influential on other games. Like, we can do that too. Yeah. I still really like Uncharted 2. But it has gotten worse over time for me. Am I gonna put Super Paper Mario over Uncharted 2? I think I am. Ugh. I feel pretty good about this bottom stretch here. I like talking about Punch-Out and hype it up Punch-Out, but it is barely making the cut. It is barely making the cut. I think I actually like To the Moon more than Fire Emblem. Maybe the Skullgirls. The ordering is the hardest part, and I'm still missing a game. I'm about to put Black and White 2 back on this list. I'm gonna do it. No, another game feels right. Put it back on. I'm raising it back up to go next to its sibling. Alright, there we go. That's better. We got 50 here. Okay. I'm gonna do one more check through this order here to make sure that this feels right to me. And make sure I'm not forgetting any other game. Sonic Shuffle at number 50. The only thing that's getting shuffled is Sonic Shuffle off this list. That was really bad. I don't know what I thought I was cooking there. Don't. Excuse me while I go jump out the nearest window. What song is this? The Curse is Lifted for Triforce Heroes. This song kind of go crazy. Peggle 2? Oh my god. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can we experience something together? I'd like to just experience this together as a class. I don't think they're gonna copyright strike me for this. Okay, you guys able to see this well? What's showing up for you guys? Okay, there we go. Right, you can see some of the stuff I've been looking at in my sidebar. We got Spectre for some reason. We also got Full Metal Alchemist music, and then we got Xenogears. Alright, so, alright, we're watching this. Hold up. Overwatch is higher than Minecraft. Brittany, I have over 2,000 hours in Overwatch.
I'd say I was speechless, but I have one more thing to announce. Coming this year, Peggle 2!
Why does he jump like that? And the Titanfall.
More thing to announce. Coming this year, Peggle 2!
He holds his... Why does he hold his fist up in the air for so long? Everybody else subscribe, unfollow on Twitter, stop supporting on Patreon. No, wait, hey! Not the Patreon. Professor Layton, any of those games? I've only played the first one. So I can't really speak to the others. Overwatch is bad? You're bad. Hold up. I need to recreate the Peggle jump. Give me a second. Hold up. How do I do... Is this full? No, that's not it. Hold up. There we go. Okay, we need to recreate the Peggle jump. With this limited space that I have. Look at this. I don't have that much here. This not working with much. It's like Peggle 2. Oh my god. Wonderful. I feel like a much better person because of that. Just go back to Peggle 2 guy. Alright. Who wouldn't get that excited for Peggle 2? That's a fair question. Alright, wait, where's my you're in my comfy music again. We need to chill out for the Peggle hype. I know that Peggle is exciting, but we need to bring it down a little bit. It's pretty exciting. They announced they were gonna do a legit modern sequel, and there's no bullshit. I would do that jump too. But have you considered Peggle 3? I had that on my camera roll now. Hey, wait. Alright, this is a very loose order. I think I'm gonna stick with this for the time being. No, this needs to be higher. This needs to be higher. Okay, I'm gonna rock with this. No, Mario Party 2's... Star Fox 64 can't be this high. Can it, though? I don't know. We're rolling with this, whatever. I'll put Zakawiki above this. We could be here all day going through this list. Any Batman games? I got Arkham Asylum down here. Arkham Asylum's kind of got down a little bit in my eyes over the years. Would I play it over these? I think I would. Alright. So, let me go ahead. Let me talk about what my top 10 would be. Swap with Minecraft. I like Minecraft there. No, do I like Minecraft on the Path of Rage? I think I do. Actually. Alright, fine. You got that. Minecraft moved. Minecraft moved up. It's going up again. Am I really about to do this? Am I about to do this? Star Fox sucks too? You're crazy. Get out of here. I think Coolsville sucks. Am I gonna do this? No, I can't. That's too much. That's too much. But is it though? It's not going above Lost Crown. It's just not. Whatever. We're rocking with this. All right, we're gonna talk about the top 10 games on here, because I'm counting these as one. So we're talking about Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4, as I mentioned, is a game that you just keep coming back to. If you start it, you can't stop playing it. It's that good. All the guns feel fun. It's got the merchant, the welcome. Got some rare things. It's great. It's great. We love Resident Evil 4. It's goofy. It's cringe in the perfect way possible. Leon is the coolest nerd ever, alongside Cloud Strife. Both of those are the two coolest dweebs I've ever seen in my life. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. You know, honestly, I would always put Mania in this spot. And I honestly think that Mania might be the better game. But I think at this current moment in time, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is just a nice game I could pick up, I could go through. There was a time where I was actually learning how to speedrun it for a tournament at MomoCon. I didn't compete in the tournament, but I actually did learn how to speedrun through Aquatic Ruin Zone. I have since forgot probably all of it, but I was practicing. Pokemon Silver, my first video game that I could call my own. I know it is very popular, the hate on Gen 2 on the internet nowadays. But I think with Gen 2, yes, there are issues. The level curve is not the best. The fact that you can't get some Pokemon until the later half of the game is bad. There are some baffling choices in this game. But Johto as a region, I just love. I think that it really gives more into kind of the Japanese influence style. I think Ho-Oh and Lugia are great legendaries that help give the world some more mythos and build upon what they were establishing with Mewtwo in the previous game. The music's awesome, and this feels like a conclusive end of the Pokemon series almost. Like if it ended here with that end credit song, I get it. I get it. I'm glad that they did it, but the start of it scared me. Portal 2? Yeah. Brittany and I tried playing Resident Evil 4's very beginning, and then Dr. Salvatore with the chainsaw came out, and then didn't go the best. Gen 2 killed my family and stole my dog. That was gold version. Silver would never do that. Silver would never. White 2, White and White 2. So these are the ones that I had. I got White version because I liked Zekrom more, and then my friend in high school gifted me White 2. So it kind of stayed consistent that way. But I actually think I may like the Pokemon from Black and Black 2 more. I'd have to go look at the list again. But regardless, yeah, it's so funny to have these as the highest Pokemon game on my list, despite the fact that they were, at the time of their release, my least favorite mainline entry. What a turnaround arc. These are the games that made me realize that just because something didn't click with me the first time, I would be open to giving it another chance. I guess it kind of helped me to be more of an optimist as well. I have a lot of nostalgic attachment and memories attached to these two games. There are so many little small details and quirks in these games that just give Unova a lot of life. And these are Game Freak and Pokemon at the top of their game. Mega Man X4, my favorite platformer of all time. Yes, the voice acting is cheesy, but it's perfect. Can we for the uninitiated, could we get some Mega Man X4 voice acting in here? Yes, we can. Spoilers for Mega Man X4. You've been warned. Spoiling it rotten.
No, this isn't happening. There's no reason for me to go on. What am I fighting for?
Perfect. Chef's kiss. Amazing. No notes. Don't change anything. First take, best take. I love it. Oh, I love this game. But then, like, here's the thing, okay? You see that, and you're like, this game looks bad. But then, shout out to, we're going to check out Hide of Beast here.
You want to put all
The voice scared by dogs they do not approve. I got an ad. Look, just... Okay, I don't need the commentary. I'm sorry, Hide of Beast. I appreciate you. Alright, I want you to look at this segment here. Look at the movement on this. If this is a good speed run. Look at that. Oh, it's so smooth. Oh my god. Oh, yep. Hit the dash under. Yep. That part kills a little bit of momentum, a little bit of my least favorite part of the run here. But oh my god, you see that movement, and it does something to me. It just does something. Wingman X4 is so good. The music's great. As I said, both characters are very playable in a pretty balanced way. Even if it does feel more like a Zero game with the story. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition specifically. We've now entered my top 5 favorite games of all time. This game, I've said it a bajillion times. I think probably it needs no introduction, but this was the game that kind of built upon Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid 3 taught me how powerful of stories the medium of video games could have. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 further solidified that and kind of changed my personality. This was the Kingdom Hearts 2 for a lot of people that got on the Hot Topic and such back in the day for me. It helped me adjust to college. I resonate with the characters in this game a lot. It pulled me in with the attack on Colony 9 and what happens with Fiora in the very beginning, and it just didn't let go. The story is fantastic in terms of also just the main themes about how life's little surprises are what makes life worth living, even if bad things do come our way. It's it's really stuck with me. And the music in this game is also really been with me. I had a Xenoblade Chronicles CD that I would listen to constantly in my drives to and from college, and man, Beyond the Sky is one of my favorite lyrical tracks of all time. That song means a lot to me, Beyond the Sky. Is that the one I played? You played, yes, you played for the beginning, and then you said it made you sad. Play Pokemon White 2 when my 4 comes in. Definitely not going to erase my save down my initial cartridge. Yeah, I totally get that. I don't like touching my old Pokemon save files. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles, I would not be on here doing YouTube if it was not for this game. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the one that gave me the final push, but this is still my favorite in the series. Do I think that the gameplay in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is better? I think overall I do like the gameplay for the most part in terms of pure combat in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the flow more, but the exploration, the world, the music, the story in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And Shulk as a character, I also just heavily relate to as somebody who, you know, on the surface, I think maybe presents more of like, kind of like serious, more methodical or logical way of thinking, but just kind of being more emotionally driven deep down. So yeah. The beginning of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is Sunshine and Rainbows. That, you know what? True. I shipped him so hard and he lied, and she said she's going to be fine. I now have issues with that game. I did enough of the sorts. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. This was the game. So if Metal Gear Solid 3 introduced me to how powerful stories could be in video games, Xenoblade Chronicles is further solidified proof of it. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors is what showed me how you could tell a story that can only be taught for the medium and only be told for the medium of video games. I had seen, there's a channel by the name of Dookie Shed. I don't know if they've posted in a long time, but they made a list of like their top handheld games. And one of them, I think number 2, was this game. And I was like, number 2 of all handheld games? Really? But you know what? I like escape rooms. I like puzzles. So, and I like a mystery. I'm all for it. Let's try it out. And I remember I borrowed it from a friend in college. And I was playing through it on my winter break. And I got like about maybe 7 or 8 hours in. I said, yeah, you know what? This is good. But number 2? That's pretty high. And then I hit my first ending. And I said, oh my god, I can't put this game down. And I couldn't stop. I could not stop playing. For the next 2 days, it was just what I kept doing. I just kept doing the different paths, trying to figure out the different endings and everything. And I remember the second night of binging, it was 6 a.m. and I finally beat the game, and I said, I think this may be one of my favorite games of all time. And that's not something I do, but the emotional impact that final puzzle and ending had on me was a lot. I remember I got back to college, I gave back the game, I said, oh my gosh, that was incredible. That was such a good experience. And then my friend, she mentioned, yeah, so I'm going to play the sequel. And I go, there's a sequel? And I jettisoned to try and pick up a copy of Virtue's Last Reward as fast as I could. But technically, he didn't lie. True, that's fair. Okay. Metal Gear Solid 3. You know, it's almost weird. Strangely enough, some days I like this. The 4, 5, and 6 are almost interchangeable. Even Mega Man X4, like, strangely enough, anything in the 3 to 10 range, maybe 3 to, and I will say 3 to 8 range. Anything in the 3 to 8 range could become my third favorite game, depending on the day. But Metal Gear Solid 3's story, although simple compared to some of the other Metal Gear Solid games, hits you with just this absolute gut punch. And it makes for my favorite ending in any piece. It's not even just my favorite ending. It's my favorite scene in any piece of media. Admittedly, this is the one scene that I can go back to. I can go and I can watch, and it could still give me the tear up every single time I see it. I was working on a video on this ending in particular and analyzing it, and I probably got through halfway editing it, and I stopped because it just wasn't clicking. I wasn't sure if it's just where I was mentally in that time in life, or if it's just because I feel like I wasn't doing it justice, but something, I stopped, and part of me would want to revisit it, but it's hard because, like, obviously I want to kind of, like, give personality and life into the video, but it's talking about a very, very serious ending and emotional, so it's like I can't do that. I think that's the difficulty I'm having. But I do love Metal Gear Solid 3. I do like Delta. I know people are shitting on Delta as a remake, but I think it's good. Finally, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. My 2 favorite games of all time. It depends on the day which one is my favorite. Ocarina of Time is just classic in terms of being really strong and just, you know, it has your typical, like, here's your water, your fire, your grass, so on and so forth, but it does it so well. The music's great. I think it's simple, but it's still creative. Majora's Mask is wacky, and it takes a lot of things from Ocarina of Time and it inverts them into such this interesting way. Oh, you want a forest area? Well, we had a forest in the last one, so let's do a jungle. Still kind of the same motif, but we have this crazy purple swamp mountain, and, you know, there's a Deku Palace. It's very fun. They're like, oh, well, we had a desert in the last one. We're gonna have a canyon in this one, but this one is filled with, like, a skeleton kingdom, and the ghosts of those who regret it, and it's a giant beehive, and you can flip it upside down. Wacky, wacky game. With a timer, too, that is very stressful. But at the same time, I think that stress is actually what makes Majora's Mask great. I hate to have this mentality, but Majora's Mask is a game that I think is better after your first time beating it. Because you generally know what the things are, where they are, and how you can do them. It just comes down to what order you want to tackle them in. And I think that's the fun of it. So I can't pick. I don't know if there will ever be a game that will top Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, my favorite. The randomizer that links the two of them together is like the most perfect thing I have ever laid my eyes upon. It is so much fun, and I honestly want to stream the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask randomizer again. I really want to. It's fun. So maybe. I know I just keep streaming that over and over again, like once every year, but man, I love it. Now that's my top 50 games list. So, the order as it goes on later is perhaps not, you know, perhaps not optimal, but I think this is a pretty fair reflection of what I like and what I value in my games. For Ocarina of Time, I feel like it's probably good to address this now. There are, of course, a lot of rumors running rampant right now about a remake coming out at the end of this year. Obviously, a remake will not replace Ocarina of Time, nor the 3DS version, which I do think is the best version of the game. But I honestly wouldn't mind if it was just Ocarina of Time 3D, upscaled, and put on the Switch. Like, I really think that version of the game is nearly perfect outside of a couple artistic and lighting changes. Scroll down again. So yeah, I'm very excited. I know remakes constantly are something to be kind of worried about in the video game industry, but I can't not be excited. It's my favorite game of all time. I just hope they don't get... I'm torn. I don't want them to get too overly ambitious and change the game. The old game isn't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So maybe this is a way for them to go, hey, you know what? Get a little crazy. Do some interesting stuff. But at the same time, part of me just wants Ocarina of Time 3DS on the Switch. I don't know, it's hard. I like Lost Crown. I don't know, I've been really enjoying it. This may be some recency bias. It admittedly might be recency bias. But the game's got sauce, what can I say? Alright, so, again, to go for my top 50, starting with 50. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, Skullgirls, To the Moon, Kingdom Hearts 2, Nier Replicant, Uncharted 2, Super Paper Mario, Minecraft, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Luigi's Mansion, Zack and Wiki, The Quest for Barbarossa's Treasure, Mother 3, Earthbound, Batman Arkham Asylum, Star Fox 64, Mario Party 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Paper Mario, Xenogears, Gears of War 3, Halo Reach, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Link's Awakening DX, Overwatch, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Platinum, Mega Man 6, Shadow of the Colossus, Kid Icarus Uprising, Final Fantasy VII, Sonic Mania, Mega Man X, Zelda Wind Waker, Zelda Twilight Princess, and our top 10, even though it's technically 11, I'm counting these together. Resident Evil 4, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Pokemon Silver, and Soul Silver by extension, Pokemon White 2, Pokemon White as one entity, Mega Man X4, Xenoblade Chronicles, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, Metal Gear Solid 3, Majora's Mask, and Ocarina of Time. And I honestly think I'm gonna do... Oops. Oops. But yeah, that's my list. And before they let Ilka, oh no, keep Ilka away, please. Keep him away. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to. What is the detail? Oh gosh. It's immersive view. All right, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna screenshot these, and then I'm gonna go ahead and post these on Twitter.com. And that's gonna be the end of our stream. It is almost 11 p.m. Goodness gracious. I'm streaming for 2.5 hours, which I guess isn't even that bad. But, alright guys. Thank you so much. Oh, thoughts on the Mario Galaxy movie? I have not seen it yet, so unfortunately I cannot share any thoughts. I apologize, Mazer. But that's gonna be it here for today's stream. Thank you guys for stopping by. This is fun to go through and make this list. I hope you had a good time chilling and talking about video games. Maybe in the future I'll stream Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask Randomizer, also in preparation for a hypothetical remake. I just like going through it, even if it's the same old, same old. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys again. Take care and have a good rest of the night.